Hello everyone and welcome to another War Leader PvMP video. Today I've got a couple of 1v1s to show you as well as a rematch with a burglar, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about some stuff that I noticed on some of these particular outings and how that pertained to raiding and some of my conclusions from that. So we will go ahead and get right into that. Alright, so first one that I have recorded here is Dupree the Champion, and he's just sat there waiting for me, so obviously he wants 1 versus 1, but don't bother with any hop up and down or anything. So it's just going to be a no holds barred fight as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Currently I'm doing well with my crits, and I'm also putting out a fair bit of damage, already taken off of about 2,000 health from him. Just now switched over into RM Command. Probably should have been in that earlier, but I wasn't sure how hard he's going to be hitting, so I did put myself defensive RI to start off with, just to be on the safe side. Alright, now, before the Dupree fight, I did end up getting jumped by a hunter. I did not get a chance to record that fight. I think I did not have my recording software on, plus he attacked me stealth. But that fight was very interesting just because it was a pure burst fight, and it was literally me and Brawler's stance, closing the distance with him after he opened fire, popping off heals, popping off shouts, popping heals, and just unloading all the damage I could while he was trying to do the same, and then throwing off interrupts and trying to slow down his damage while pumping as much of my own as I could. It was a very close fight too, which is something that usually doesn't happen with hunters. So that started to lead me to a few suspicions about how the class plays. There goes a hunter right there. Also, that guy in the background is a guardian. Fortunately, he's not doing anything right now as far as interfering with the fight. I don't remember if I named my banner to soloing Don't Interrupt or something. Probably not, but you know, if you are going out in 1v1 and giving your flag a name like that does help. Alright, another guy just came off. It was a hunter. He is now open fire, Arcadian, and so I am in quite a bit of trouble. I've gone ahead and dropped the Banner of Terror. Want to put a lid on the damage potential, and I'm also going to try to use the tree, get cover, see if I can get away from the hunter or the champ, or just see what develops. If they both stay on me, I'm going to probably die without being able to get away. But right here, Dupree is backing off, so I'm able to fire off a heal. I have slightly more health right now than Arcadian does, but he is a hunter. There went Burn Hot, I believe, or I forget what buff that was. One additional damage buff. But basically, here we go again with the Hunter versus War Leader burst fight. Unfortunately, Arcadian picked a very poor spot to set up. He also allowed me to get down my flags and everything, and his mitigations are not good at all, so he is going to die very fast, and down he goes. Alright, now here we are in the second fight. This is me versus a captain and a hunter at the same time. Now, if I were to leave the hunter unharassed, the hunter would kill me in very, very short order. The thing is, hunters have multiple weaknesses that make them a good target. First of all, they have medium armor, so their mitigations tend to be pretty subpar. Second, their health levels also tend to be fairly low compared to those other freaks. I see minstrels with more health than 7,000, but hunters you rarely see breaking into 8 or 9 range. Depends on what buffs they got. The other thing is they are induction classes, so they want to stand still to do maximum damage, and if you throw damage at them, it sets back the inductions, which means damage comes even slower, or forces them to move, at which point they're not doing any damage at all. So that means that you can shut down the damage that a hunter does to you, which makes it very advantageous to target them whenever you possibly can. Now, I am running into a serious problem though, because the captain is keeping the hunter alive. Now, if we continue, I might potentially drop him, but it would be difficult. However, there in the background, there is a minstrel, and his health is about to go shooting up, and there it goes. Minstrel is healing. Minstrel is also shooting at me. There it is, Nilaran, right there. And a guardian is also joining the fight, so 4 versus 1, and now they finally drop me. This is Yoke. Yoke wanted some 1v1s after, I think it was 2 videos ago, I showed a fight with him. So I was on Freep's side. He he and I are friends. We've done some stuff together. So he got in touch with me and he decided we wanted a best of 3. So I've gone ahead. I popped my brand as soon as he went invisible. I dropped the command post, tracked him, tried to get him with my menacing roar. I did manage to hit him with that, and so now I'm just trying to let him have it. As I said before, Brawler's Stance, RF command, just unload. Right here I go ahead, I drop the Banner of Terror, and I'm just going to let him have it. If you notice, he has popped scrolls, he's got a lot of Destiny Point buffs. I popped all 3 of my available delving buffs, so I have evasion, armor, and resistance, and then I picked up the Destiny Point damage boost, because he also has that, and I picked up Destiny Point Infamy boost, and that was it. So I didn't bother with extra health or extra power. Instead, I grabbed extra Infamy and sent him a not-so-subtle message that I was expecting to win handily. Alright, so as you can see, this has gone very badly for him. I've been doing very well with getting crits, and because I'm getting crits, that means his health is evaporating, and it also means that I'm able to just take care of keeping my own health levels very high. He never even got me down very close to the 10,000 mark. So round 2, he switches up his armor, switches up his trait setup, and away we go again. I don't have my brand available for this one, but I do go ahead and drop the command post as soon as he goes invisible. Did not manage to fire off the menacing roar and get him. Right there I hit my root pot because I wasn't sure if he had mez me or stunned me, and so I wanted to not waste my stun pot if it was a mez and not a stun. That was why I did that. It was a stun, so I had to hit the stun pot anyway. Yeah, see, there was the mez. That would have been where, if I'd had the root pot ready, that would have been a good place to use it. So what I'm going to have to do now, because he has managed to put a lot of damage on me during the duration of the stuns, is I've got to keep the fight very mobile, keep moving, use a lot of shouts, hit my quit whining and fight every single time it comes up, and rely on tactical damage to finish this one off, plus hitting him whenever I possibly can with melee attacks. Once again, my crits are going very well right now, so it has enabled me to get pretty high up again. And right there, I did manage to get stunned in the middle of the animation, so I got a double use out of that particular Power of Fear buff, which definitely helped me recover a bit more health, despite him stunning me and getting some extra attacks in. So I've gone, I just touched 10,000 again, and they're up over 10,000. Probably won't last long. And Banner of Terror is, of course, putting a serious damper on top of his efforts to kill me. Now that said, it is a much closer fight, but that's what happens when you don't use the brand. Using the brand as a war leader, that is a force equalizer. I don't stun anybody, and when I turn on the brand, it means that they have to fight from the same disadvantage that I do, where you don't get to shut the other player down by use of anything. Most classes, when you do that, they melt. There are some exceptions, they're mostly heavy armor classes, but that's how it goes. Okay, we did fight one third fight after that. If you notice, he did not use Ready and Able, multiple touch and goes, or man heal, strength and morale, any of that stuff. The third fight, he did do that. I unfortunately forgot to hit record on that fight. He won the third fight. It was still pretty close. Towards the end of it, it came down to not getting crits. And that's what happens in a Berg fight, is it's all going to come down to how many crits the war leader is able to get, and also to a lesser extent the crits that the burglar is going to get. Burglars are always going to get crits. They've got a lot of stuff that's going to guarantee crits and an absurdly high crit rate on top of that. But the real deciding factor is the war leader's crits, because when the war leader crits, the burglar's health goes down by a significant margin, and more importantly, war leader does Power of Fear, fires off instant heals, and the fight goes on that much longer. And the longer the fight goes on, the worse it is for the burglar. Now, I do have to say, though, when he did beat me in that fight, it did take him strength and morale, touch and go, ready and able, touch and go again. So he blew multiple cooldowns to actually win, and it still came down to being pretty close, where if I'd gotten a couple more crits towards the later stages of the fight, it could have easily turned back towards my favor, or been to the point where we were within a couple hundred health of being dead at the end, and someone would have gotten lucky. probably him at that point. Of course, once I hit rank 9, another story again, because then I can have another 3,000 health just from get a grip, and yeah, that changes the fight once more. Alright, the hunters, as I mentioned before. After having done my fighting with hunters and seeing the damage output they were doing, and then also seeing what kind of interruptions just a war leader could do on them, I came up with a sneaky little suspicion. I figured out that the healing on creep side can keep pace with most of the damage that freeps are outputting. There's just a couple of classes that are putting out damage in extreme rates that overwhelm all attempts at healing and make it so that the only thing you can do is get a bubble, and even getting the bubble off doesn't work very well because you gotta wait for the animation, and they just do so much damage in such a ridiculously short period of time that oftentimes you'll have your bubble go on cooldown without actually saving the guy. The classes that are responsible for this are the Hunters and the Lore Masters. Both are induction classes. Both have fairly small morale pools comparatively. Both of them have very low mitigations. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and try to do some raiding and see what happens if we make our strategy, instead of focusing on minstrels who have self bubbles and all kinds of on the run healing, Court of Salvation, stuff like that, minstrel flop and stuff, a lot of ways to keep themselves alive. What if we take out the glass cannons and then see what happens? So, in my next video, I've got footage from the night when I did that, and I will share with you the results of that entire experiment. But until then, good luck and have fun out there. Ugmog is out.